Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome to my channel. I'm an artist and I help other artists to grow in skills and confidence with my online membership, The Joy of Drawing. And I also teach other artists and creatives to make some real money growing their art business, doing something that they love every single day. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I get started with a drawing. I'm going to show you my setup and I'm going to show you the first things that I do to get going. A lot of people have asked, they don't even know where to start. The reference photo feels a little bit intimidating, so I really hope that this video is helpful. So I thought I'd just talk you around my setup. This is my filming setup. Now, this is a little corner of the dining room. My main desk is out there in the conservatory, but if it's sunny, I can't see my screen, there's too much glare. And this way it's much more stable in terms of weather conditions and I can always lighten things in editing. So I've got my laptop for my reference photo. I've got my setup with my camera with this little arm that's going over, which is really handy. And this is a Canon EOS M10. It's quite an old camera now. It'd be lovely to have an upgrade soon at some point. And then I've got my little accessories, of course, a cup of tea and my sharpenings. I've got my pencils, mainly using polychromos because they are just the best, but luminance I use for a few things, and there are some colours in the Pablos that I really love as well. And then just down here I've got my little battery charging station. So as you can see, you don't need lots of space to be able to film videos. I think it puts a lot of people off because you see these amazing setups when actually I have to put this up and take it down again because I have a family living here as well. But this is my setup and it works pretty well. I've been doing it for a couple of years now and I'm about to get started on a new drawing, a rhino for my membership tutorial, and then I'll just show you how I get started with that as well. So this is the reference photo I'm working from. You can see it's quite detailed, obviously it's a lot smaller on this screen, but what I do is I always start with the eye, always, because this gives the drawing life and it also gives you that motivation to keep going. Because I think a lot of the time, if you start on something that's a little bit difficult, you might not see results straight away. The eye generally gives that animal soul and it really encourages you to keep going. So the first thing I did was I used my kneadable eraser to lift up some of the graphite. You don't want that showing through to your drawing because that will be really distracting, it will be really noticeable. So I start with a dark pencil, but never the black. So either the dark sepia, or I could use a warm grey 5 or warm grey 6. And what I'll do is I'll go into the darkest parts of the eye and just make sure that I can map out everything that I need to work out, where the pupil is, where the waterline is, the darkest parts around the edge of the eye, the wrinkles, and then I can start to fill in the lighter parts. Now with an eye, you need it to look really glassy and beady, especially in a rhino. The eyes are really small compared to the rest of the body. So it's really important that you add lots and lots of layers. Now this is going to give that shiny look. You don't want any of the paper showing through. The paper is made up of lots of troughs and peaks. This is called the tooth of the paper, and what you're doing is that you're using your pencil to fill in the troughs so that you can create a lovely smooth surface. Now the paper will always have this tooth, whether it's classed as smooth or not. Some paper has more than others, but what you want is a lovely thick paper that has plenty of tooth but overall looks smooth. So filling in all of the tooth of the paper to create a lovely glassy look, and you'll need to blend in between. I only go in with the black at the very end to darken it once I've got everything in, but I find that going in with the black in the eye is really important because then you can really make sure that you look at that and contrast to the other colours around it, and until you've got that darkness and you don't know what values to put in. I then go in with a luminance white. Now the luminance is really waxy, it's really soft, and it's definitely my favourite one because I'm going to use the slice tool in this piece. The rhino's skin is really different to fur, and I know that I need, or I want that kind of certainty at the end that I can lift up some of the paper pencil by scraping it away to enable me to create lovely texture and wrinkles within the skin of the rhino. Now, if I don't put that layer of luminance down, then it doesn't work as well. You need to add quite a few layers of that waxy base. You can use a buff titanium. I prefer the white because you're not worrying too much about any colour going down. You can use a Prismacolor, you can even use a Faber-Castell Polychromo, but the waxiness of the luminance works brilliantly. So you put quite a few layers down using a light hand, not pressing very hard at all. And then once you add your layers on top, all of your coloured pencils, as I'm doing here, you can see I'm adding warm greys. I'm starting with a lighter colour, and then I'm slowly building up into the darker colours, around the wrinkles, and then into the shadows. Once you've added all of those colours in, then you can scrape back using the slice tool or pen cutter, a craft knife. You can use anything that has a lovely sharp point, but just make sure that you use the side of the blade, not the tip of the blade. You don't want to cut your paper, and I've done that myself. Believe me, it's quite frightening. So you need to use the side of the blade to scrape. The slice pen cutter is brilliant because it's a ceramic blade and it won't cut you. I'm just very clumsy, and I've cut myself with a craft knife before. So you know that you're going to be able to slice back to the waxy luminance pencil at the bottom, the very bottom, and you're not going to damage the paper, for one, and you're going to be able to feel that scraping back to that waxy coating. And you end up having this lovely bright line showing through. You have that waxy pencil to scrape back to, which enables the paper to show through brilliantly. If you don't put that layer down, it just doesn't work as well. And a lot of people say, oh, I can't get it to work. And that's why, because you need that layer down underneath. So you can see I'm building up now. I'm building up through the skin tones. I'm not worrying about details. I put those lines in just as a kind of landmark for me to work out where I am, but I'm not really concentrating on the details at this point. It's amazing that the more you get caught up in the details and the more that you think you need to put them in at the beginning, the more confusing it ends up and the more muddy the drawing looks. If you look at some of your favourite artists on Instagram or on Facebook, if you zoom in, which is the great thing about putting photos on social media instead of reels all of the time, is that you can actually zoom in and see that the detail that looks highly detailed is actually not. It's actually just an amalgamation of colours and shapes and lines. And I've always found that the more I get caught up on the detail, the worse my drawing looks. If I just concentrate on the values, so the colours I'm putting down, how dark the values are, which is the lights and the darks, so making sure you're getting your highlights light enough, which is the slice tool comes in brilliantly for that, making sure that you're working from light to dark. You get the darks in, dark as they need to be, which is why I get the eye in and I use the black. Then you will create that realism without mudding it up and without making it look too messy, especially if you're drawing quite a small piece. Now this is bigger than A4, but it's still small. I mean, if you compare the photo and the amount of details on the reference photo, because it's taking something that's actually there, we are limited to how many details we can fit in to that size of paper, that size of drawing. And you're limited to the smallness of the tip of your pencil. No matter how sharp you get it, there is a limit to what you can put in. So just bearing that in mind, taking your time, not going too fast, really looking at the reference photo and seeing what colours are made up. I'm using a combination of warms and colds here, because if you really look at the skin, there is a combination, and there is in most things. So I'm not picking one, I'm using all of them and building up from light to dark. And you can see I've zoomed out and it looks a lot better from a distance, and that's where the details really matter. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And maybe if you have any questions about my setup or some of the tools I use, then please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. If you did like the video, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. I upload videos like this every Tuesday and then art business videos every Friday. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.